What is going on,
Hello,
everyone? What's going
What's
on?
going
What's
on?
going on?
What's happening here?
You
Happy
know,
Friday.
same old shit here. It's Friday.
Same old shit. I love Fridays,
Oh, you like
especially
Fridays?
Veterans Day. To all the veterans, thank you
Yes,
for your
yes.
service.
Thank you so
Yes,
much for
thank you
everything
for
you
your
do.
service.
We appreciate it.
It's tomorrow, right? It's tomorrow, right?
It's today.
It's today. Oh, I thought it was the 11th.
Today.
It is today, right?
It is today. Oh, I
It's
thought it was.
today.
I
Yes,
thought it was.
it's today.
Oh
Draft
yeah, it is
Dodger.
today.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was always the 11th. That's why.
We don't
I,
know.
I
I
don't
just
know
know
what.
it's Friday. I'm off. Thank you. I was off. I mean,
No, I had to go to work.
as you
But
can see,
thank
I
you
was
for all the veterans that do what they do for us
yes,
to for us to do what we do out there and get what we want. So we appreciate you
yes.
and thank you for everything.
Thank you.
So today's Friday. You know what we do on Fridays, we break down our weekly picks. We break down yesterday's game, which I don't even know if we want to do, but we have to, right? Even though PG's not going to be on today because he's down in Maryland visiting his nephew.
That's why. That's why he didn't come on today. You know, his Bears were horrible yesterday, even though they
Yeah.
won, but it was still a horrible game.
Wait, let's
I
first
know
off.
his
First,
excuse.
I wasn't on Tuesday. How you feeling from your mini stroke on the
Oh
episode?
man, it was the worst. It was the worst. I showed so many people. So many people commented on it to me. You know, I keep telling them comment on the podcast on YouTube.
On
You
YouTube.
know, and the other you know, it wasn't. We weren't able to get it on the little
On the
little
shorts.
clip.
It just missed
Yeah, on the
it. It
shorts.
just missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but it was just hilarious. The situation, if y'all don't know what happened, was D mentioned was trying to get asking me a question in regards to what I think about Saquon Barkley and how, you know, what type of player he is for us. And at the same time, I was expecting my daughter to come home. So as I'm trying to answer the question, I hear her knocking outside. You know, my wife's where I have the setup here is in the back of the house, so I could hear her, and I'm hearing her, and you know, I just couldn't get the word out what I was trying to say, so I could pause it right quick and run and open the door for her. You know, because she was coming home from a Girl Scout meeting. Shout out to the Girl Scouts of the Yonkers.
Or you just want the cookies. That's all you want.
Yeah, I love the cookies, man.
Which ones you? Which
You know,
one? Which ones? Which
Oh,
one?
the
Which ones you
Samoas,
want?
man. The Samoas.
Oh, the
Order
peanut butter
it.
ones are the good ones. I don't know what they're called, but the
Yeah.
peanut butter ones, my lord, they're good.
They're delicious.
We all
But
we
that's
all
what
happy to
happened.
hear that you're good, man.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you. Actually,
yeah.
I'm not good. I got a cold. I feel everybody here. We've been coughing up a lung, so I'm trying to go ahead
I
and
think
see how
everybody's
fast I
dealing
can
with that right now, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the chemtrails.
Everyone's dealing with that.
Let me say that, but it's the chemtrails, buddy.
Is that what it is? All
It
right,
has
so
to be.
so good to hear that Brett Man's doing well, right? Let's talk about yesterday's game, right? Let's break that down right quick. Even though PG's not here to discuss what he felt about the Bears game, so we'll do it for him, right? I'm not, man. It was such a rough game to watch, man. I wasn't expecting a good game, like at all, but Jesus Christ, on both ends of the field was so bad. Like I was having trouble staying awake. Bryce Young, I want to like give him a benefit of the doubt and be like, hey, listen, he's gonna eventually get it. But man, right now it's looking like they made a terrible, terrible choice picking him up, man.
Especially with the way Stroud's been playing, so that's
and you know what is I hear that like, oh, like he's still a rookie and he doesn't have all the pieces around, but neither does Stroud. And what makes the situation worse is they didn't, not the owners who wanted him, from what I'm hearing, and they went around, which was I think
coaches,
Frank Wright and the general manager wanted to go Stroud, and they decided to go with Bryce Young. But not one game has he impressed to me. So the Bears, I guess benefited them because they beat this team, the Carolina Panthers, who only have one win and they still get the number one pick. But man, what a terrible game! What do you guys feel about that game? And are there any positives out of that game?
No.
Only positive I see is that the Bears, they were in a win-win situation yesterday. Doesn't matter if they won, the record improved, and if they lost, Carolina, gives them a better chance to go ahead and still get the number one pick. That's all you give. It's no biggie there. They could. They're bad, man. They're bad. Both teams are horrible. But in regards to Bryce Young, I agree with you in a way. He doesn't look good at all. But when there's plays, there's certain times where you see him. In my opinion, it doesn't happen. Or it hasn't happened often this season. But his type of game is sit back, read the defense, and just shoot it. He's not the guy he's not a Kyler Murray who's going to go ahead and run off and try to score on his own. He's a guy, he's a cerebral quarterback. What helped, in my opinion, Bryce Young was guys like Drew Brees, guys like Kyler Murray, them short guys, who can throw the deep ball, can just maneuver around, can just read the defense. And that's what Bryce Young is. But I don't think it's this season. He still needs a lot more weapons. He can't really, they thought they were giving him weapons. The only one who so far, in my opinion, who showed up this season has been Thielen. But you expect him, Miles Sanders, to be somebody.
Oh, he's disappeared. I have him on my fantasy team, and I don't even know where he is.
Mingo was supposed to be a rookie. The tight end Hayden Hurst. So they said, we got him weapons. Whatever happened to Terrence Marshall?
Oh, he's a bust. Straight bust.
Well, yeah, right.
But the sad part is if that's the mentality you went with and saying, Thielen's his main weapon.
Yeah.
Thielen last year, they didn't sign him in Minnesota because they thought he was washed up.
Yeah.
So it's sad that's the piece that they gave him, right? So, but I'm not like I said, I've said it before in the previous episodes before. I'm not a big component of Alabama quarterbacks are gonna flourish in the NFL. I think Hurts is one of a kind, and he's just in the right system because the running and the he's got an arm. I'm not impressed with Hurts as much either. But the Bryce Young thing, I just don't like at all. I'm not a big fan.
I said give him time, give him a couple more weapons. A lot of what's been going on is that we see a lot of these young quarterbacks who get drafted early. Okay, he's the first pick in the draft, so you expect greatness out of this guy. You expect at least above average. Mm-hmm. But you got to give these young guys a chance. You know what I mean? If you don't have the weapons, you don't have a go-to receiver. You're using a veteran. I say give him a chance. Give him a chance, and I think he'll be all right.
My question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. A question for you two guys, right? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that quarterbacks that come straight out of college get thrown right in to become starting quarterbacks of the NFL? Should they sit with a clipboard, or should they just, here you go, you took you with the first pick, we put a lot of good draft capital, gave up a lot to draft you. Here's the helm. You do what you got to do, or should they be behind the clipboard for? Not saying a whole year, because look at Eli. Eli did what, 6-7 games?
Yeah.
And then they said, "Here you go, take over." Right?
Yeah, but Eli got rocked. Eli got rocked a couple of times when he first started.
But he did learn behind Kurt Warner for the first 6-7 games. So which way do you feel the NFL should go?
Throw him in there. Throw him in there.
I agree.
It depends on the sort of I was going to use Zach Wilson as an example, right? Rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, but that's the same thing that's going down in Houston, right? With CJ Stroud first year and Nico Ryan's first year. So,
and it's the same thing because it's a defensive coach that took over as the Texans as well.
Yeah, true, right. The general manager is still the general manager, I believe, which is the guy from New England in Houston a couple of years. But at the end of the day, I'd rather throw them out there, unless if you have unless if it's like a situation where a team with a veteran quarterback goes down. You know what I mean? Like early in the season and they have a really bad year. in the quarterbacks towards like, you know, I'm not trying like kind of like the situation where the Giants was with Eli, right? Even though he didn't get hurt, but like towards the end when you had picked up Barkley, you know, you had consideration for a quarterback that moment. You know what I mean? Even if he didn't sit, but most of the teams that draft first usually don't have that option of a veteran backup, right? They have to go get one. I don't have no problem throwing it in. Listen, with Bryce Young, Dee said it last episode when I listened, when I watched it. Like Texans' offensive line is not that good, but Carolina is worse. Like they have no line, so I think they got to build around him, build more around him, and get him a true number one, and then I'll judge him. You know what I mean? But I don't have no problem. I'll throw a rookie quarterback in there.
Yeah, but sometimes that defeats it, man. Like these quarterbacks, like in Bryce Young's situation, I understand, right? Because you're playing for Alabama, and Alabama is a top college team, right? So you're used to playing in those situations. With the whole situation with Zach Wilson, he was set up to fail. Like I honestly think the reason why he's still a quarterback for the Jets is because the whole thing of his uncle owning, I think, part ownership of JetBlue or ownership of JetBlue, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the airline that the Jets use. So I think it's something to do with that. And Woody Johnson is saying, "Hey, listen, we're going to use this, and we're going to keep him." And I also think it's Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers still has a chokehold on this damn team, to where he wants whatever he wants, they're going to give him, and that's the reason why he was the backup to this team, and that's the reason why he's still the quarterback in this team right now. But he was in a bad situation. He played for BYU, and they gave him the helm on a defensive coach who was his first year. That was a shit situation. I honestly think they should wait a little bit. Like, even with the Tua situation, that was a complete disaster because Flores didn't want him to go in anyway.
Or you guys had no back. Tannehill, right? Was it Tannehill still?
No, we have Fitzpatrick.
Oh, right. Okay.
We have Fitzpatrick, but then I don't think Flores wanted to draft him. I don't think Flores wanted to put him in, but that was from the ownership who said start playing the kid, because his first like live game was against the Jets in like week 4, and it was like at the 2-yard line. I'm like, who the hell puts a quarterback at the 2-yard line? And we were like, it just didn't make any sense. Yeah. So you guys believe that it's the right situation, right?
I think you throw them in there. Like we always go back around Zach Wilson, right? Like that team around him when they threw him in was terrible already going into it. The Texans, they made some nice quiet moves, and they also have another thing too. Like their left tackle is Naomi Tunsil. He's top 5 in the NFL when he's on the field. You know what I mean? That just having one of that line, like one lineman, especially that's an important position in the offensive line. Probably the most important position in that line. And when you have an all-pro left tackle already, that you know, a lot of people might say that, that has nothing to do with it. Oh no, trust me, it does. It does. Mm-hmm. And then it's all about, and then on top of that too, it's always about, and it's the one thing with these rookie quarterbacks they get, it's also about the coaching, right? That's where I think the difference between CJ Stroud and Zach Wilson. Like Zach Wilson, there's similarities there because first time head coach and stuff, but DeMeco Ryans put a staff together that works for him. And I think the Jets, Salah brought his guys, but just the overall talent, Texans are a little better. But I don't have no problem throwing a quarterback. And listen, if you're that bad, you have the number 1 pick, you picking the quarterback at number 1, just go for it. You know what I mean? Unless if you're in this team, one of these teams where you got an injury to your quarterback early on and you just have a really bad year and then the contract is almost up, we'll finish out the contract, maybe, but I have no problem throwing these rookie quarterbacks in.
Gotcha. So now my next question for you guys is, with the game yesterday, I think the Bears are now, I know they've still got the number 1 pick with Carolina as the number 1.
Right now, yeah. If Arizona loses, they go back to number 1, right? But I don't think I can't see Arizona drafting a quarterback. I think if Arizona gets the number 1 pick, they'll go OT or they'll go Marvin Harrison, right? So my thing is, with the Bears situation, they're going to go quarterback regardless of the fact, right? So do you feel that Justin Fields should rush back? Does he have something to prove? Because at the end of the day, if he plays, right,
because I think that he signed till next year, if I'm not mistaken, year 5 or 4.
Yeah.
But you're not going to draft the quarterback with number 1 pick, and then
He's the same year as Zach Wilson. So that's that draft class.
so but you're not going to draft the quarterback with the number 1 pick and then say, hey, yeah, you know, you're going to play the whole year, maybe not. So he's going to eventually get traded or like released in the offseason, right? Or traded in the offseason. So should he hurt himself and like make it worse this year, or just say, you know what, I'm going to take my time, play when I'm healthy, if I'm healthy, or just sit the rest of the year out and just look at the offseason and say, trade me to a competitor that or a team that wants me? What do you think he should do?
I think
the writing's on the wall already. The writing's on the wall already. It's
you think so?
Clearly telling you, yeah. They're going quarterback.
No, I think they are
know,
going quarterback. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. The writing's on the wall. They're going quarterback. You know, it's already. He shouldn't take your time, bro. Come back whenever you feel you're healthy.
But the thing is, the injury is a dislocated finger. I mean, it's not like he's coming back from like. But I'm
fingers.
I mean, for his sake, it's like you gotta, you want to be a little selfish, right? You want to think about like for yourself, right? So he will have to sit there and think, okay, would it benefit me to come back, show what I have, and maybe if he comes back and does show, and they're still not winning, but he's not. I mean, it's going to be hard because if they're not winning, he will probably be the main reason why they're not winning. But I would say, I guess I would say if I was him, I'll come back just in case, just for himself, like to show, just to show it for the remainder of the year, and just in case if like a team, the one team that stands out for me already, I know we're only in week 10 and they're still in the division race is Atlanta.
Well, that's for a lot of quarterbacks, but
yeah,
because I don't see Heineke or Riddler.
So I would say for himself, I would, if I was him, I would come back just for myself to I guess like a showcase, just to say, and hope there's improvement. So that way a team like Atlanta or I don't know, Washington, depending on how their season plays out, with Sam Howell.
But he could also get injured
on him
again.
No, right. No. It's always
what happened to Daniel Jones. So what happened to Daniel Jones.
You always got that in the back of your head.
Unfortunately, right now, that's what these players think about.
Because at the end of the day, he should know. Like we suck. Carolina sucks even more. Yeah. It's not looking good for me. So I'm gonna I know I'm gonna lose my job.
Yeah.
And then and on top of that, with all the stuff that you just said, on top of that, to add that another layer to that is the possibility of a potential of a new head coach coming in.
I was just gonna say that
that's not your guy.
I was just gonna say his guy. And I was just gonna say, I don't even care if he comes back. Right? Say he comes back next week, and I think was it last year when he just out of nowhere he went through like a tear running the ball, and they were like, oh, this guy next year is gonna have the MVP season, right? I don't care if he has a 20 times better season than he had finished off than last year. That coach is getting fired at the end of the year. And the new coach is bringing their own quarterback. So he's no matter what he does is screwed.
And what is it Pose or whatever, the general manager, to come on and kind of gave the head coach like a vote of confidence before yesterday's game. Like, what are you doing? Like,
well, I think he has to at this
point. I guess I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Because they are going to have. I'll be surprised if he's the head coach back. Period. You cannot. If you're going to draft another quarterback, you can't put, even regards to the fact that that would be quote unquote his guy, but you're going to draft a quarterback with a coach that if you bring him back next season and it's the same results with the rookie quarterback, you're going to fire him and then you're just going to be repeating again. So get it right. If Justin Fields is not it, if you're planning on being a new coach, and I don't think general manager, just a new coach is probably going to want to bring his own guy or draft his own guy. Caleb Williams, Drake May, whichever one. And then trade Fields, they probably could, they could get a good return back for him.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if it'll be a first round pick.
No,
I don't think they. I mean, I wouldn't. Maybe a second.
I don't think so. Second or third. I don't see anything.
That game was bad yesterday.
Oh, it was terrible. All right, so after that game, we discussed that because I don't see any bright spots in that. Right, that game was terrible. I think the Bears overpaid for Montrez Sweat.
Well, he had 8 pressures yesterday.
Yeah, but they pretty much bet on themselves. Because I don't think anyone in the offseason was going to give him $98 million. No one. So to give up a second round pick and then give him a huge contract, to me, made no sense. But now they're stuck with him for 4 years. Hopefully he does do something. But at the end of the day, when they do get paid, we see what happens, right? So with that game being said, we'll break down every game of the NFL coming up this week. We'll call it the NFL Blitz. And we'll start off in Germany with the Colts at 4-5 going up against the Patriots at 2-7. What do you guys feel about that game with Colts being favored of -2?
Another, I mean, it's another game that's like, and we're waking up to this game.
Yeah, we went from last week's primetime games, great games, to this nonsense of the Bears on Thursday night, the Patriots on this. Oh my God, it's just terrible.
Yeah, so for New England is, I mean, at this point they're kind of like in the same conversation as Chicago, right? Like definitely got a big question mark.
Yeah.
Big question mark at quarterback, and then I mean I'm not even gonna talk about Bill Belichick because it won't surprise me if he doesn't come back, and it won't surprise me if he does come back. I mean, for the remaining of the year, I put it this way: for the remaining of the year, I don't care what. If I was a Patriots fan, for the remaining of the year, I don't care what Mac Jones does. Like they need a quarterback. They need a quarterback, and in
the mock draft going out right now, they got him at number 5, taking JJ McCarthy from Michigan.
Wow,
do they?
That's high as hell for JJ, but
that is.
Well, he's having a hell of a year. Listen,
but
I'm not trying.
We'll
Listen,
see now with what's going on with Jim Harbaugh getting suspended for the
game.
Yeah,
you know what's going to happen. Listen, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not trying to say the subject, but Penn State's about to get a pissed off Michigan team. What they're about to get. But what you would call? But I'm surprised with JJ McCarthy. Dang, that high. I mean, like he's having a hell of a year. They're saying he's the Heisman favorite.
He's a contender for a
Heisman. Horrible game.
Yeah, it is.
You know what?
For Indianapolis, I guess they win, they get back to 500 and kind of stay in the mix for the division. And also,
it's a football game in Germany. It's good.
That's pretty much it. Where these fans over there can enjoy something to watch.
Exactly.
And rumbles around the league of the NFL of New England, right? Who just gave Bill Belichick a lucrative extension, right? That no one knew about. Mm-hmm. And now there's rumors going around saying if they lose this game, he could potentially get fired, right? Which makes no sense to me. Which makes no sense to me. It's kind of stupid, right? Because another rumor going around is Washington saying if that ever was to happen, that they'll trade picks for Bill Belichick, right? And it's just crazy to me how a coach. I remember we had this discussion a while ago, and Paulo said, "Oh, you got to get rid of him. Like his time is done." But he gave that team 6 Super Bowls. Was it 5 or 6?
5. No, 6.
6. Wasn't it 6? Because Tom Brady got his 7th in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, 6.
Like, that should count for something, bro. Like, come on. Now he's a single man. You see him in the ring cameras coming out of the shit. He's doing his dirt. Let the man live. Like, he should have the right to say, you know what? Let me relax and have some bad seasons. Like, New England, Boston is one tough place to play for, my lord.
No, you know what, man?
After all the Super Bowls,
he hasn't won since Brady left. Yeah, I think he only had one good season since Brady left. Okay.
Yeah, they made the playoffs 2 years ago. Mac Jones as a rookie.
I feel. Listen, it's the league, man. It's a business. If you're not performing, look what happened in Philly with
Andy Reid,
their head coach, when they won not Andy Reid, the other guy.
Oh, Doug Peterson.
Peterson.
Yeah, exactly. He won a championship. He has a losing season. He's gone. You know what I mean? Championship's okay. Yeah, you won us a championship. Good, great. Listen, what are you doing for me now?
It is. It's definitely.
You're drafting the players. You're drafting the players.
It definitely is.
The players aren't performing, so
it definitely is.
Even when they had all that money, the only one who has performed has been Matt Judon. Out of all the money they spent on the players, remember when they went on a shopping spree, and they picked up. Hey, Matt Judon's been the only one who has performed.
I think there's a little,
maybe a little Hunter,
a little ignorance in the part of Bill Belichick, and what I mean by that, what I'm trying to say is, like, you don't have Brady no more as a quarterback, so get yourself a number one receiver to help your young quarterback, right? So you Brady, like, outside of Randy Moss and Wes Walker, right? Who has he thrown the ball to? Brady. Like, Brady's, like, same thing with Peyton Manning, right? Peyton Manning, we could say the same thing with Indianapolis, right? He made Dallas Clark, Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison. I'll give them the credit, but when they came to New England, Tom Brady, Deion Branch, right? Like start naming them, right? Like, but you don't have Brady no more. You have to get talents. If you have a young quarterback, you have to surround your time. You're trying to be successful with Juju Smith-Schuster. That's your free agent signing with DeAndre Hopkins, basically saying, like, just waving, like, hey,
not only DeAndre, Bill Belichick said he was the best receiver he's ever seen, and would love to coach him. And
I don't understand. I don't get it either. You know what I mean? Even like Odell. Like, Odell hasn't really done anything in Baltimore or whatever. I know he scored his first touchdown last week, but something. They always been linked to like a top receiver ever since Brady's been gone. But they never done it.
Hasn't gone.
You know what I mean? So, but this game, but guess what? We'll still be watching it, right? As bad as it is.
Yeah.
Well, you got Jonathan Taylor, D.
Guten Tag, bitches.
Yeah, but Jonathan Taylor hasn't really done anything for me.
I'll be the same.
But we'll see. So next game, we're going to go Texans, who are led by C.J. Stroud, who are going into Cincinnati, the hot Cincinnati Bengals, led by Joe Burrow. And the Cincinnati Bengals are laying 6.5.
Yeah, I mean, there's injuries all over. I mean, great game, big game.
Joe Mixon's already rolled out.
Mixon's out too?
Not Mixon, sorry.
Higgins.
Higgins is rolled out.
He had a good game for me, right? On Sunday. Gave me 11 points, but whatever, right? 9 targets. And then Chase, as Monday comes, Tuesday comes, Chase, I'm already starting to read that Chase is at best 50-50. That's probably gonna be like game time decision. So I'm like, oh, if he doesn't play, like, this will be Higgins' time. No, he gets hurt in practice, hamstring out. I just, my lord. But there's injuries all over. Higgins is out. Chase Young is game time. Texans have Damian Pierce out. Nico Collins is out. Jimmy Ward is out. So it's injuries all over the place. But I'll
tell you who's not injured. Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow and C.J. Stroud. Yeah,
Burrow.
That guy is one of a kind.
That's all you need.
He looks healthy, and the Bengals defense looks nice.
No, yeah, we talked about it last time. They don't dominate. They just do their part. They do their
exactly. They
look
I think like a real good team. The AFC should have stomped them out when they had a chance, and they didn't take that opportunity.
Big test for Houston, but Cincinnati makes it a big game because the way the AFC North is setting up to be, and next believe it or not, next Thursday night is Cincinnati at Baltimore. So
yeah, I saw that.
Maybe they don't. Hopefully they don't look ahead. I mean, they shouldn't. But I want to see C.J. Stroud another. I think this is his. You can kind of make an argument. This is probably his biggest test on the road, probably against the best team that he's played against. I'm looking forward to seeing that game.
So my next game,
that's one of 2 games this week that's actually not that bad.
Decent enough to watch. No, they got a couple. But not that many. So we got the Saints going into Minnesota, who Joshua Dobbs showed up and picked up.
Josh Dobbs.
He got the fans over there shaving their eyebrows.
Yeah,
my Lord. Got the New Orleans laying 3 going into Minnesota. I'm not like I said, I'm not sold on New Orleans, man. I don't know what it is with this team. One day they impress me.
Go ahead and say it.
You
can say it. It's Derek Carr.
it might have to just be him, but I don't know what it is with this team, man. I'm not impressed with them. Right? They go deep one day, then they don't.
Which Derek Carr's going to show up, man?
You don't. That's the problem, right?
You look at Derek Carr, build of a quarterback, arm strength of a quarterback, pocket quarterback, some guy who you see. I mean, this guy's capable of throwing 5,000 yards. But then one game to the next, it's like, yo, what you doing? You look scared out there. You look Let it go. Let it go, man. You got the weapons. I don't understand.
What?
Stop throwing it to Shaheed deep and go with Olave,
Listen,
especially this week.
their defense to me is the reason why they're 5-4. Like they keep them in games, and they lead the league in interceptions with 12.
Yeah,
but they keep them in a lot of games. Hawkins for Minnesota, Osborne is questionable and Hawkinson is questionable. This is a big game. Both teams are 5-4, right?
Yeah.
This is. I mean, Saints is the division, but like even for the wild card spot, I know the Saints lead the division, but this is for like that last wild card spot. And Justin Jefferson, from what I heard, he got boosted up to. I mean, I know
he's questionable.
He's going to be probably boosted up to game time, but I don't think.
Yeah, but he also has sat there and said that if he's not 100%, he ain't going.
100%.
Yeah, right. So this is a big game for both. Man, I don't know, man. If you were picking this game straight up, I mean, I don't even. I would probably go Minnesota just because they're home.
The one thing about that, the home thing, you just said they're home. They're 1-3 at home, and New Orleans is 3-2 at home, on the road. So it's a big game for both teams. But the NFC isn't that strong, so they both have a good chance of making the playoffs. But
even New Orleans last week, like Chicago gave them a run until like a certain part of the second half or whatever, right? Yeah, but just watching them on offense, and I'm not saying I have Alvin Kamara in my fantasy league, but it's not. But it's just like. The following week at Indianapolis, he was one of the reasons why you guys won. And then your game plan comes into Chicago, and it's like him, Jamal Williams, and DeAndre Miller or something like that. They're all splitting carries. Like I think they all got like 10 each. Like they won, but you're not gonna win like that if you're playing a decent team.
I agree. Well, that's that game. We got our next game at 1:00. We got the Packers, led by Jordan Love, going into the Steelers, who was 5-3. That's another terrible game for me. But the Packers just suck, man. Jordan Love to me is not good.
It's hard to watch. He's hard to watch.
Neither is Pickett. Pickett's not good.
No. Hey, did you guys see that stat? I don't know if I seen it right, but I'm gonna say it. CJ Stroud has more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett in the career so far. I know it's both short, but like that's something to say because Kenny Pickett played half the season last year.
I don't even know how many like touchdowns he does have this year.
I just don't. I mean, everything goes with Pittsburgh. Everything goes. I don't know. Everything always goes back to pointing to Matt Canada. Like I feel like there's talent in that team. It's like to have Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, and Allen Robinson, and it's like George Pickens is like over here frustrated. Like I don't know, but for Green Bay, I mean, this game looks like it's gonna be ugly.
Yeah, but that's not a good sign for Pickens. The way he is, he didn't want to celebrate with his teammate when he scored, and he hasn't scored since like 2022. I just don't like players that way. Like that's the one thing.
You look at Deontay Johnson when he scored on Thursday. That's the first touchdown. He didn't have no touchdowns last year. Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
He went crazy.
That's the one reason why. Yeah, you're right. Because Kenny Pickett has 13 career touchdowns.
And CJ Stroud got like 15.
14.
Okay, by one. Yeah.
So that's the one thing I love about Tyreek Hill. Like he can go for 45, 50 yards, and and whoever scores, he's celebrating, doing end zone dances with. That's the type of players I want on my team, man. That whole bullshit of like getting angry about that shit, that to me is corny as hell. And that's
keep it moving, man. Keep it moving.
And plus, you haven't done it in the league to be pissed off.
Yeah.
Like I understand Devontae Adams being kind of upset and everybody else, but Pickens, you haven't done anything. You're known for a meme looking at a TV with a mask on. Like,
listen, Jordan Love,
a couple nice catches too.
But
Jordan Love has been bad, and it's hard to watch. It could be really, really bad if they don't block TJ Watt on Sunday. like TJ Watt,
not a lot of people have yet.
TJ Watt is that type of player that if you're coming into that game struggling, you're leaving out of Pittsburgh probably even looking even worse than what you came into that game because of TJ Watt. So, listen, big game for Pittsburgh, right? I don't think Green Bay gotta stay, but I feel like I don't know. They're 5-3. I just feel like they're there's like a little separation between them and everybody else in the division. No,
Yeah, they should be 6-3 after this, but they're not. It's not an impressive.
They're overachieving this season. They're overachieving.
Hey, whatever you win, get a win. Mike Tomlin's a hell of a coach, Hall of Fame coach. But yeah, next,
we're gonna go to the Titans, who look like they have found their quarterback and gave Will Levis or Levi's, whatever you want.
Levis.
It's Levis.
They gave Will Levis the rest of the year as starting quarterback. So Tannehill's on the bench, going into Tampa Bay facing Baker Mayfield and the Bucks.
Who haven't won?
Are laying -1 on the team. I like Tennessee. They look like a completely different team with Will Levis on the team. Their defense is good. They seem like they found the connection with Levis and Hopkins. If they can find the running game with Henry, I think Titans.
And they have a really good run defense as well.
I agree. And the running back for the Buccaneers,
Rashad White.
He's disappointing this year.
Well, he had a good game. He had a good game Sunday.
He was supposed to have like a breakout season from what he did. Last year. And it's been nothing but terrible for me. I'm not a big fan of it.
I'm watching the games on the laptop and also have the ESPN thing. Every time, like when he scored those 2 touchdowns, and I seen how many points he scores, I'm like, oh great! I guarantee this Sunday. And Danny, I'm playing you. Guarantee Sunday. I was like, oh, as the game's going on, and I'm like, oh, he's doing something this week. That means he's not going to show up next week. But
that's crazy. You're playing Danny, and I'm playing Paulo. Paulo's not on.
Yeah, but what you would call
going down, Mike?
Listen, you lucky as hell because I don't have Mahomes. Well, Mahomes?
Well, I don't have this guy. I don't have Tua.
Patrick Mahomes.
I can't. We don't have Tua, D.
We don't have Tua. Stop it.
We don't have Tua.
Listen, Tampa Bay hasn't won since their bye week. They were 3-1, so they're on a 4-game losing streak. But yet again, they still find themselves only a game and a half behind the division. Nobody's going to run away with that. And they beat the Saints, so it's not like they're fall out. They just got to get back
and it's
together.
crazy.
They just got to get it.
Baker Mayfield, beginning of the season, they were winning. You know, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Baker Mayfield, he's playing like he was playing at the Browns." Yeah. You know,
he didn't have a bad game Sunday.
No, I know, but
CJ Stroud just had a fucking crazy ass game.
There's nothing you can do about that. You know what I mean? So he's with his up and down thing as well. You know, he makes bad choices, bad decisions.
Yeah, he's always been like that.
Yeah,
but he's not having a bad season. He's 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 18.
A lot of that was earlier on in the season too.
Yeah. All right, next game we're gonna go, which is a big game with the San Francisco 49ers going into Jacksonville Jaguars.
Something gonna get right out there. San Francisco snatched their 3-game losing streak, or Jacksonville extends their winning streak to 6. I think, right?
Yeah, 6 games because they're at 5. They both had big acquisitions in the trade deadline, which Chase Young and the Jaguars picked up Ursa Cleveland, which is huge. But I'm going with the Niners.
They're healthy.
They're back. They're all back. Debo comes back. Purdy. No, I heard Trent's game time decision, so we don't know 100%. Yeah, but Purdy's back from his concussion, so you gave him a week off. Well, he probably got another concussion that week that he came back. But
that bye week came in handy. That's why you didn't hear nothing about it, because that hit.
Yeah,
he grabbed his head right away. So them having that bye week, they didn't have to really announce it. I mean, they could have, but they didn't announce it or they didn't get leaked out. But this is a big game because, listen, for San Francisco is you got to snap out of it if you have any chance of trying to get this number 1 seed. I mean, they play Philly in the first Sunday of December,
and I think next week they might go to Seattle, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's Thanksgiving. They have a game in between.
Oh, it's Thanksgiving at night.
It's night. I don't know.
I know Seattle's coming up, and that's in 2 weeks.
That's in 2 weeks. Yeah, that's in 2 weeks.
So it's right around the corner.
Yes.
But I think they got everybody, and they got Christian McCaffrey. What is it, 17 games straight?
17. Yeah.
It'll be 18. It'll
be 18.
I hope so. I got the Jaguars on my bench.
But listen, you never know. The Jaguars defense looks pretty good. It's gonna be a real good game. It's gonna be a real good game.
It's gonna say a lot. I know Jacksonville's on a 5-game winning streak, and I know they beat Buffalo. That was in London and stuff like that. And they have a couple of road wins in between. This is this is going to be a big test. I know I said it already about Jacksonville. Like they're going to want to see what they're at. I really want to see this game. I want to see how they match up with San Francisco toe to toe. Can they win this game? They could. I just think that. When
San Francisco, that's going to show you if they're serious this year.
Listen,
when San Francisco's healthy, they're
yeah. That's what I was going to say. That if you got Debo back, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Kittle, they have the weapons to just
Yeah, they got to snap out of it. I mean, listen, that game at Philly a couple weeks from now is going to be big regardless. But like I know that they'll sit there and say that they don't care where they go, but you always try to get that number one seed.
Do y'all think that Purdy's coming down to earth?
We'll see this week because now, like, I understand maybe not 100% because he was without pieces, but now he has this complete regime with him, right? So if he struggles again this week, then maybe teams are starting to figure him out. But until he has his whole regime 100% behind him and struggles, then we would never know. It's like with Tua, you never know if Tua's 100% or he's struggling. Is he this? Have they figured him out? Because if you don't have 100% behind him, like Daniel Jones, is Daniel Jones the real deal? We don't know. He never had an offensive line, no receivers. You never know with anything. So we'll figure it out because he's got his whole team besides right now Trent Williams, who's the game time decision.
Listen, man, I think it's just like that bump in the road, right? And like I said, if 49er fans, I'd rather have four 49er fans, right? You rather have this bump on the road now and not wait until the season.
That's true. That's
they just gotta snap out.
That's a 3-game losing streak. That's a big bump on the road.
No, I'm saying though, if you're gonna have that big bump on the road, you might as well have it now, even though you're already behind the 8 ball. I mean, who isn't behind the 8 ball? Behind Philly, but Purdy. Listen, the one thing is that's like these networks, right? and I get it. They put them in the conversation. So I've heard some put them in the conversation as top 5, top 8 in just calm down. It's he's I agree. I agree with Shannon Sharp to a certain extent. Where he's a product of the system and he's exceeding in that. He's over exceeding in that system. You know what I mean? But like they said, when he has full talent, I think that's what he benefited. I guess when they're all full strength, he's a different quarterback. Who isn't though? You know what I mean? Who isn't though? But that's a big game. Obviously, we'll be watching that.
Let's go into the next game, which is another big one, where we got Cleveland going on the road, going up against Baltimore.
Number 1 defense versus number 2 right now.
Yeah, and Baltimore to me is the best team in the league, and they're doing this without their legit running game, and that's another team where. In the beginning of the season, they struggled, right? They couldn't figure out their offense, right? Because there was a new offensive coordinator, new offensive pieces in the team, and they couldn't figure it out. And everyone said, "Oh, yeah, they're not the same. They're not the same." They seem to have figured it out, and I think the NFL is screwed up with them and Cincinnati, and that's the only thing that sucks. They're in the same division, so they're gonna have to play each other twice and see what it is. But right now, the Ravens to me are the best team in the league.
Okay. No, they are, and like you guys said, I was thinking the same thing with you guys. Sneaky, quiet, sneaky, quiet. And I'm done picking against them. I picked Detroit +3. That was a blowout, and I picked Seattle +6. Even though I thought Baltimore would win, but I thought it would be closer. I'm done picking against them. But Lamar Jackson's an MVP candidate. Their defense is that linebacker group with Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. Right now is probably top 2 in the NFL, right? You could probably make a case for, you could probably debate that group, and also Fred Warner and Greenlaw from San Francisco. But what you recall for Cleveland, I don't know. I want to see
Cleveland's out of their left tackle.
Yeah, he's out for the season. No, he's out for a couple. No, he's not. No.
Jedrick Willis.
Yeah, I think he's not out for the season, but he's out for an extended period of time. I just want to see the Deshaun Watson in this game. I want to see how he performs and stuff like that, because we know Cleveland's defense is going to come ready to play. But I'm looking forward.
I want to see how Lamar Jackson's going to do this week. Against that.
It's going to be a real good game.
That's what I want to see.
So let's go to the next game, which I don't know if anyone's going to be interested in. It's the Atlanta Falcons going into the Arizona Cardinals, who get their boy back, little midget man. Kyler Murray comes back from his ACL injury. after almost a year of it being out. Listen, man, Atlanta got to do their job. It is what it is. If they want to continue to be in this hunt for this, then they got to continue to keep pushing for it. Yep. And this is a game where they got to beat. They got to win. So it's as simple as that. And listen, for the coach of Atlanta, what the fuck are you doing, man? You can't draft a running back so high. Not his mustache. Who cares about that shit? But
cool
you can't draft a running back so high.
Yeah, mine's done.
And then get and not consider playing him. I get it. You got Tyler Algier or whatever, bro. He's not your future. Man, put the guy behind.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Enough already, man.
I don't get that. Like, I don't get Jahmyr Gibbs either. But they used him a couple of times. They used them a couple times because Montgomery's out. But this one doesn't make no sense to me. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it.
I like Robinson. Robinson's a hell of a running back. But did they need to draft Robinson? They didn't need to draft Robinson. Only because, Algier proved last year he was 1,000-yard back last year, wasn't he? Did he reach 1,000 yards last year? If I'm correct, close to it. Yeah,
If not close to it.
I know you get a change, yeah, but to get a change of pace back as the 8th pick,
they don't know how to use their weapons, man. It's the same thing with Kyle Pitts. Like, how you have that big of a target and you don't use them in the red zone? I don't get it.
I don't get it. We thought maybe Tyler Heineke was going to go ahead. He didn't show me anything.
No, because I picked Kyle Pitts to score an anytime touchdown, and that didn't work.
That didn't work. That cost.
But listen, I gotta pay attention to that game because I got Taylor Heineken and Drake London. I gotta go with Drake London because freaking Higgins is out. So I got it there. But Arizona, I mean, we don't know. I don't even know. I'm trying to put my fingerprints on what they're thinking is. They're 1-8, right? Is this going to be Kyler Murray's showcase for like Justin Fields, right? For teams like Atlanta, teams like Washington, teams like whoever is going to need a quarterback? Or from what I've read something this week saying that it's not a lock that it's not guaranteed that he's not going to be a part of. Like there's still a chance that he could be a part of it. So this is one situation that can go in and out, either way. But for Arizona's sake, you want to stay in being 1-8 at this point of the season. You want to stay. You try to. I mean, behind closed doors, right? You're trying to stay in the top 5. But they could mess around, and Kyle Murray could probably, if he could probably win the game himself. You know what I mean? Like game-winning drive and stuff like that. So I don't know, but I'm interested to see Kyler Murray come back and play.
I'm not. Next game,
what?
we'll go to the Lions.
Because you had him twice and you disappointed.
We'll go back to the Lions, who come after a bye. I stand at 6-2 going into the Chargers, who came off a win on Monday night, who didn't have to do much. They just had to just kick some field goals to win the game. So I'm not sold on the Chargers. I think the Lions go into LA and handle business. They're favored by 3, and I think they handle it. Montgomery's back, and then you got Jahmyr Gibbs, who they kind of figured out, and if they can continue to work him out. And I'm just not the Chargers. You can't really go by what they did last week. They went up against an offense that doesn't do anything. So I'm gonna go with the Lions in this game. And
my concern with them is my concern with the Chargers is their damn offense, right? Like their defense did their part, like you said, but their offense could have done their part too. And I know the Jets defense is good, but they look out of sync. Like they just completely.
Listen, they're down. They're down.
They have all this talent. They look like they. Go ahead, Dan.
I'm saying they're out. They lost Mike Williams.
He's having another stroke.
You lose Palmer. Those are big weapons. That's your second receiver. The tight end is not that good. I don't know what Everett's still playing in this league.
Everett, Palmer. I don't know who their tight end really is. But it is what it is. Let's go to the next game.
But listen, the battle between Detroit.
Let's go Dallas this week.
A battle between the Giants going into the Cowboys.
Let's go Dallas this week.
Mike, minus 17 for the Cowboys.
This week, I tell you, Mike, I'm a Cowboys fan with you this week, man. Let's go Cowboys.
You got Dak, man.
You might be the worst Giants fan I know.
Listen, I told you guys, after week 14, I'm a true Giants fan. As of now, no, but there's 2 reasons why. Number 1 is, of course, I got Dak and Aubrey. You know what I mean? And number 2 is our draft pick.
You know,
Yeah.
someone was talking about it. Someone I know we were discussing about the quarterbacks, and at first I was thinking, should the Giants? No, I don't think we need a quarterback. Give Daniel Jones another year. Yeah, give him another year, but just draft a quarterback. He's not the guy. You know, let's start over. You're starting over already. Let's figure it out. Let's try. Hopefully May's available. One of the top two. I wouldn't do McCarthy. I wouldn't do Shador's not coming out. So, who's the other guy? Penix. I
Bo
wouldn't
Nix.
do him as well.
Oh,
Yeah, Bo
Not,
Nix
not,
either.
not, not no early.
You know what I
first,
mean?
First,
Not,
second,
not
third
like
pick.
you know.
Get them
Yeah,
later in
so
the first round or second round.
that's the way I look at it. Go
this
Cowboys.
this is what a week to be playing the Giants, right? Like I'm playing this guy, and of course he has Dak as the backup, and I'm as his backup quarterback in fantasy and the kicker, and then on top of that, it's a 17-point spread, and then on top of that, I have no choice but to go with Dallas in the survivor pool because I can't pick nobody else.
Wow.
It's just like it's set up for a disaster. But listen, man, they should take care of business. Tommy DeVito, I mean, come on, like take care of business and do what you got to do. Listen, last week's game I wasn't on Tuesday. I had my kids and stuff like that, but listen. You can nitpick that game either a whole lot. I think this is the week for us. If you can't get Tony Pollard in that run game going, then you're not going to have a running game for the rest of the season. Listen, these next 3 weeks for Dallas is going to not make and break their whole season, but it's going to determine if they have a shot at the division still, and to really see if they're going to be, still that 13 in the discussion because like. They have Giants this week, Carolina next week, and they got Washington on Thanksgiving before they have to play. Starting with Seattle the following week, they have Miami still, they got Buffalo still, Philly again, Detroit. You know what I mean? So they just got to take care of business, man.
If the Giants would have had either Tyrod Taylor or Daniel Jones as their quarterback this week.
I wouldn't be 17 points.
I would have. No, I wouldn't be 17. But you know what? I think they would have made it like a revenge game.
No,
what happened week one?
Yeah,
it would have came hard. DeVito, to be honest, he's a guy who came out of practice team. You give him the opportunity to start. Because we have nobody else. So
our defense is gonna have to dominate. They dominate this game early.
Yeah.
And just like I said, get Tony Pollard involved. This is the game to do it. Giants defense, up until last week, Giants defense been playing good since the Buffalo game going on until last week. But just take advantage of it. And then another thing too, Tober needs to start over. I'm done with Michael Gallup. I'm done. I'm done. I wasn't on Tuesday. Listen. That game went so many ways, but in big games like that, the little plays that almost was there, Dak stepping out, the half inch 4th and 1, which I was pass interference by the way, but I'm not gonna. But Michael Gallup, right before the half, we were driving the ball. We got 3 points out of it, but in that type of game, you try to get 7. I don't know how that drive ends up being, but you running a goddamn crossing route to get a first down on 3rd and 3. Nobody's next to you, and you drop it. I'm done. I'm done with him. I'm done with him. And he might have a good he'll have a good game this week because he shows up against lesser teams. You know what I mean? But
being that the league, we say sometimes the league is rigged. This might prove to us this week if the Giants end up beating
for real, man. Like
the league is rigged.
That 17 point spread is what, like that scares me too. Like
there's no way.
I don't see.
I understand any given Sunday, but come on, and they're my Giants. I love them to death, but
I don't see it happening. All right, fellas, let's try to break down these next 3 games real fast because we still have to talk about our picks because we're running a little behind. Next game we got the Commanders going into the Seahawks. Look, Seahawks got to wake up and do what they got to do. They got embarrassed last week, and now it's time to. Commanders pretty much said they were giving up on the season. Now it's time to show up, right, and keep up with staying with the 49ers. So the 49ers look like they're ready to make that push, being healthy and getting all their extra pieces.
I mean, it's a big game for Washington too with the wild card spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the NFC is wide open, and
the NFC is wide open. So even if they try to punt on their season, that's how bad the NFC is. Seattle just got to bounce. They need a bounce back game after that performance.
And this could be it.
Sunday.
This could be their bounce back game.
No, they could. It could. And like I said, they have to keep up with San Francisco. So
I agree. So let's go to the 8:00 game, which is the Jets going into the Raiders, which is a huge game for the Jets. The Jets need to do what they got to do to win. All right, because if not, they are in trouble. I think I'm frozen.
They are. You are frozen. They are in trouble. They're in trouble regardless. Like, I don't understand why people would be. It's like some people that was calling to ESPN radio. Not all of them, but some they sound like they were surprised after their performance. Your offense is bad. They're terrible.
Okay.
Zach Wilson is not the answer. Stop act like you're 4-3. We get it.
Well, who they have? They have to throw Zach Wilson up out there.
No, right.
You gotta hope he grows through it or whatever enough to go ahead and become the quarterback until Aaron Rodgers comes.
And they got cocky. They got a little cocky because they're saying, "Oh, I don't know who they play. Oh, I think they play Buffalo next week." And everybody's like, "Oh, they should be 6-3 going into Buffalo." Well, guess what? You're not going to be 6-3. You're 4-4, and you're probably going to be 4-5 because you got Max Crosby this week.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So, and Devontae Adams for Oakland, you could just tell the way that game went with the Giants. Like, Antonio Pierce is going to be ground and pound. Josh Jacobs is going to benefit. Josh Jacobs is going to benefit a lot with the coaching change. And Devontae Adams, I mean, speaking fantasy, this is the last thing I'll say about this game. I should have gone with Stephon Diggs. I wrote Stephon, and then I put DIG, and I scratched it off, and I regret it.
Scratched it off.
I regret it.
I almost did that with Jefferson. Jefferson won.
I'm still frozen. I don't know if you guys can still hear me.
We can hear you.
I hear you.
All right, so let's just leave it at that because my thing just keeps loading. I don't want to lose the thing. So we'll go to the last game of the week, which is the Buffalo Bills versus.
Oh, you're back. Oh.
Am I back? I don't even know what's going on. Let's go. It's the Broncos going into Buffalo.
It's a good
Listen, Buffalo needs to win this game. If not, they're in trouble.
They're in trouble. If they lose this game, they're in trouble because their schedule is tough as hell in the second half. Yeah. And they had a players only meeting. I don't know what's going on there, but
they come out the game. Stop trying to go ahead and do too much, man.
That's all he does, though. That's his problem.
And guess what they're doing? They're getting away from the run game once again.
Yeah.
Like James Cook was having a good stretch between, I want to say from the Miami game up until like they went to London. From London on, they're doing it again. And like Danny said, Josh Allen doing too much, but it seems like they're on that path again. And I guess they're going to ride and see how far it takes. But they lose this game. You're definitely hitting that panic button in Buffalo.
I agree. So let's go to now. Hold on, what the heck just went on? Okay, I'm back. Thank God. I thought I was losing this. Okay,
there you go.
Now since we were pretty much ran through the whole NFL, we got a couple minutes left. Let's run through the weekly picks. Since Paulo's not here, he sent me the picks. Right now, our standings are. Me, Tone, and Breadman are 14-12 in the season. Mike is 13-14, and Paulo is 12-15.
12 and hold on, wait, what? I got Paulo at 12-12.
What do you mean 12-12? How's he 12-12?
He went
0-3.
Oh, I didn't update his. I didn't update it because he had the Jets. I didn't want to. Okay,
yeah,
I got it.
Great.
I got it because I didn't want to. I mean, he still had the Jets Monday night, so I was waiting for him to finish. And
so he's 12-15. He sent me his picks. He's laying the 3.5 for the Steelers. He's laying the 6.5 for the Ravens, and he's laying 3 for the Lions. That's his picks for the week. Yeah, and now Tone sent me his picks as well. He's going with the Colts minus 1.5. He's going with the Vikings plus 3, and he's also going with the Steelers laying the 3.5. You want? I'll go. I got my picks ready to go. I'm going to go with the 49ers laying the 3 points. I think their defense shows up. Now with the pass rush of Bosa and Young, my Lord, it's going to be crazy. I'm going with the Titans plus 1. I think Levis is going to be a legit star in this league. and I think the Buccaneers just aren't that good. I think they take the W in that. And I'm going with my boy because he's got me 2 wins in a row in a week, and I'm going with Joey Burrow with the -6.5 Cincinnati. So I got the Titans +1, 49ers -3, and the Bengals -6.5.
All right, Danny, I can go since you've been you
Okay.
you're the hottest one. You and D, you guys both from 2-1, right?
Yeah,
And
2-1 the past
oh.
3 weeks, I think.
The past week, yeah. I'm gonna go
3-1, 2-1 the past few weeks.
I'll go real quick
I
because
3-0.
so I got San Francisco -3 as well. They coming off a bye, 3-game losing streak. They need to snap it. I don't care who they're playing. They need to snap it. And they need to get back on the winning track before it's too late for that number 1 seed. I'm going against D. I'm going Tampa -1. I'm just taking it because it's the -1 home team. It's a toss up. And then my last pick, I'm going Washington +6. Again, same thing with Seattle last week. Took them at +6. I think Seattle wins, but as long as Washington loses by 5, 6 or less, right? If they lose by 6, I still win or no? That's a push, right?
It's a push.
Okay.
We haven't really.
If they lose by
spoken
5,
about that, so.
if they lose by 5 or less, less than 6, I'll take it. But I'm going Washington +6, San Fran -3, and Tampa -1. That's my picks this week.
There you go. So let me see. Breadman's coming now, right? Breadman's known for going with the big spreads. Breadman, you going with the Cowboys?
Don't do it, man. Please.
Actually,
I don't need another.
I'm not.
Okay,
That's
okay,
big.
go
I
ahead,
should have
go
gone
ahead.
with the Cowboys.
You normally
But I'm
go with
actually
the
going
huge spread.
with another one. Actually, no, they're actually all small. I'm going with the Colts. I had it at 2. Last thing I
No, it's at 1.5.
-2.
It's
At 1.5. Colts at 1.5. Falcons at 1.5, and the Saints at 3.
Say that. Colts, Saints.
Colts, the Saints, and the Falcons at 1.5. All favorites. -1.5. You don't got that, or
I got Atlanta 2.
you got Atlanta too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2 on
I
Atlanta.
thought.
You're always trying to buy a half a point.
I don't know.
All right, so that's our weekly
went
picks for the week.
I need to snap out of it. That's 3 weeks in a row, 1 and 2, man.
All right, fellas. So listen, we can discuss like a little bit of basketball. So the Knicks got 2 good wins this week, right?
Yes.
Which is great. They 2 impressive wins. I was happy with the 2 wins that they just got this week. It seems to see that Barrett is the big key of this team right now.
Can he keep it up? I mean, it's a long season.
That's the thing. Can he keep it up? I like the whole 6-man coming out of the bench. Quickly, he's looking good. Hartenstein, I love Hartenstein.
I like Hartenstein.
Mitch is becoming a big piece. I know Paulo's not a big fan of Mitch, right? But I saw a stat earlier today, right? That you might not like the guy, right? But look at the stat. Doesn't make any sense, right? So far this season, the Lakers have 55 offensive rebounds, right? They lead the league in offensive rebounds, 55. The Wolves are second in the league at 50. Mitchell Robinson is third. Not the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson is third in the league at 45, tied with the Rockets. So we might not like the way he is sometimes because he doesn't have an offensive game, but the guy plays. So my
problem with him, my problem with him is just like the way the league is going, man. Like these big guys that that pick and roll, pick and pop. We don't have that with him, but everything else, defensively and rebounding, I mean, you always gotta have a spot for that too. But I just feel like we already got enough clutter in the paint with Randall. You know what I mean?
Supposedly he's playing off an injury. That's what he said. That he just doesn't want to take off. Randall, I heard that today.
We're good. Listen, 2 good wins.
Doesn't want to play off. Doesn't want to sit.
2 good wins, back to 4-4, and then we play Sunday. I know we play at home. I just don't know who the hell we play. Play at 12. But listen, we had the hardest. I mean, they
play the Hornets.
The Hornets, okay. We should be favored to win that game. But we had the hardest schedule the first 7 games. So to come out of it it's 8 games now. To come out of it 500, I'll take it. You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting us to.
As well.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to come out the gate 6-2, 7-2. You know
We
what I
could
mean?
have though. We could have beat the Celtics, which was
No, we
Dan.
could've,
I know you don't
yeah.
want to hear it, but we
Yeah.
could have had you guys.
No.
So whatever it is, but Brad, man, your team's coming off a 2-game losing streak, right? That's not the greatest. Off the was it the Minnesota and the
Yeah.
the Sixers,
And the Sixers.
and I think your guys are winning
Yeah.
right now today, right?
They're probably
Yeah,
crushing
we were blowing them out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
111-92.
against the Nets, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you, if our starting five is there, I heard today that they're averaging over 39 points over 100 possessions. Start the league. The starting five for every 100 possessions. We're averaging over 39 points against the other teams. That starting five this season is one of the best. The acquisition
I agree.
of Holiday has listen. I won't say it, but I understand.
He's
people
one.
would
He's
say
one.
Marcus Sue.
Assist.
You know what I mean? He's Marcus Sue because not only is he playing lockdown defense, he's knocking down his shots, he's distributing the ball.
That's
it's,
right, man. Let me just put that in right. With the piece that you guys lost with Marcus Smart, right? Your thing with that was you're not losing an offensive piece. You're losing a defender and a heart of your defense, right?
Yes.
So
But if they're gonna-
the addition of Holiday
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, D. Go
is
ahead.
what pretty much your defensive
Uh-huh.
mind is
Yeah.
right back because he's
Yeah.
one of the top defensive point guards as well.
Because then, if you go to replace Marcus Smart, who was a defensive player of the year a couple years ago, I mean, you're not going to fully replace him as a defensive player of the year, but to close the gap as much as you can, Drew Holiday will be that answer. You know what I mean? I think that was a big gift for you. He's one assist. I'm looking at the stat. He's one assist away from a triple double. He has 13 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Drew Holiday.
Yeah, he's
So you guys should be.
he's a winner. He's a winner. That's what you got to look at.
I agree.
No,
So
he is.
let me ask you guys a question, right?
Well, college basketball.
The Grizzlies. Morant is out for how many games?
Until December
25
16th.
games.
He comes back.
They're 1-7.
Yeah.
By the time he gets back, are they done?
Yeah, in the West.
They're 1-7. They're down 14 to
with
the
that-
Jazz right now.
With
They're
the
looking at
play-
1-8. By the time he comes back, is he that good to bring them back to life?
Listen, I've seen the Bulls do it before. When they can't show that
But
he
in the
has done
West?
it as well. It's true because you got
That
the
playing game. That playing game is going to keep them in there. You know what I mean? But
yeah, exactly. I was going
We'll touch on that when it comes back. Let's see how far back. But even if he comes back, they shouldn't be that far off from that 10th spot.
But with John Morant, you got a superstar coming back on your team. You got the superstar leader of your team. Like Mike said, like the playing game, they could make the playing game.
Right? If they make the playing game, I think
that
might be
that talented to carry the team. And mind you, he's not out with injury. He's out for suspension.
Yeah.
So he's out there. If he's smart enough, he's out there working on his game, getting ready. So when he comes back, he's gonna blow it up. The guy's gonna go do his thing when he comes back. And they got talent in that team. Desmond Bain is very underrated.
Yeah, Marcus Smart, defensive hub. Derrick Rose coming off the bench
Adams is
just for leadership.
Jaren Jackson. Yeah. I think they'll be fine.
They're not going to come out and say it, right? Like maybe behind closed doors, it's like, okay, depending on what these first 25 games is going to look like, they're already crazy amount. Yeah. Well, these said 1-7, right? So they're not going to say it, but when he comes back, depending on how far they are from the 6th seed, because the 6th seed is the one that's automatically in the playoffs. Maybe they sit there and be like, all right, listen, he comes back. If we can't get that 6th seed, I think Memphis would be more than okay to get into the playing game and win. And if they have to win 1 game or 2 games with John Morant, I think they can do it.
I agree. Well, that's pretty much that's all we'll discuss for basketball. We got the Clippers going down big right now, so the system Harden.
It's the James Harden effect. It's the James Harden effect.
We'll go by that. College basketball had a big game today with Duke going against Arizona, and Arizona took Duke down in the final seconds. It's the first couple games, so I'm not really concerned about it. I'm a Duke fan. Next, I think we got another big game coming up on Tuesday, Michigan versus Duke.
Well, they already lost too.
I really don't know. Yeah, they lost to James Madison, who's I don't know if I think they're that good, but they're ranked in football too, so we might as well take them serious a little bit. But too early to be talking about college basketball right now because I haven't really looked at it right now. But college football, we do have a big game going on tomorrow, which is Michigan going into Penn State. And we just got the word today of I think it's the NCAA.
The way the NCAA does stuff, man.
Suspending
like I read,
Harbaugh, which is a joke, but whatever.
I read that they had it down, that 3-game ban. They had it ready as early as yesterday morning. And they wait for him, regardless of the fact you want to say about Jim Harbaugh, you wait for him to get on the team plane. And when they land in the airport in Pennsylvania, but by Penn State, that's when he gets told when he's getting out the plane by the AD that he's been suspended for the final 3 games.
Yeah, they're a joke.
Like, hey, listen, do you think
that
his thing is done with Michigan? You think this season?
Well, I'm hearing. I've heard both. I've heard that it is, and then I've heard that once the suspension's over and it's pretty much it's gonna come about saying that it's kind of stupid, right?
Everybody this whole does thing, it
because you know how you stop this. It's easy as hell to stop this. You put a microphone on the quarterback's helmet, and you no longer hold those stupid ass signs. You no longer do this stupid bullshit. You just say it to the kids' ears, and he calls the play, and that's it, right?
That's the NFL. Yeah,
every school does this. Every school. The difference is NCAA is trying. The rule is you can't spend too much money on it because not every school can. So Michigan, I guess, went above and beyond it.
Yeah, that's all. That's all it is. That's all it is.
The problem is, right? But if you listen to everybody who's a part of the college, every school does this. They just got caught. You know what I mean? But every school does it.
But why they got caught? Like you just said it, because they went that extra step. That's it.
But it is what it is.
Like Paul Feinbein.
So they're saying that once it dies out, he'll sign the big contract.
You know, because it seems to me, what I know about Harbaugh, there's always an issue with him wherever he goes. You know, so will he get another chance somewhere else? He's a winner. So most definitely he's going to get a chance, you know what I mean? But
and every year the NFL will look for him. So the Chicago Bears,
is one main team. It's a big game, and then you have Mississippi and Georgia. That's another big game. But Michigan. Listen, Penn State's going to get a pissed off Michigan team because those players are mad as hell. They're mad, and
it's just the way they did.
Mad as hell, and they're not going to take it anymore.
You know.
So okay, fellas, we're just gonna end it like that, man. So we'll discuss more later on. It was fun. Everyone, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for following. Thanks for listening.
I'm sorry that I kept getting out.
You're going down on Sunday. Danny, you're going down on Sunday.
Mike, you're going down
on Sunday.
Go suck a lemon. You will not beat me this week. And one thing, Mike, come on with the articles, man. We need those articles. We need those rankings up, man.
You know what, man?
Like
I'm gonna do it tonight. Don't do it tonight. You don't
have to do it tonight. But you know, like keep it.
No, I'm gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna go on.
You know, I'm trying to win this season. I'm trying to go from.
You just want the ranking because you know you're gonna be number one, you jerk.
What?
That's why you want to see the rankings.
You know, no, because I want to.
You lost to Nat. Nat's crushed you.
Yo, listen, I had no McCaffrey.
Yeah,
and Tua wants to throw just 11, give me 11 points. What the freaks, man?
Yeah, Danny. Look, that's the reason why they lost because of Tua, because of Danny. Danny Tagovailoa over here.
No,
fuck Danny.
Dan.
All right, fellas, you fellas have a good one, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Bye.
Peace out. Fins up.